Hello everyone, this is Steven. I go by Pluto in case you guys haven't read my profile. So for this week's assignment, I wanted to go ahead and do something a little different. I did put some things on my sketchbook and it was good for reference, um, but I think for the first time and because of this assignment, I actually went and saw retail stores really for what they were. Behind what they were selling at the time, behind how trendy they may be, how it might apply to my personal style. Um, I saw it for really for what they were. And I wanted to share that discovery with you guys. And I figured the best way to do that was to have a conversation. Putting it on paper just wasn't enough for me. So, I hope this is okay and you guys enjoy my video because it was definitely a great trip. Moving forward. So I started at Walmart. Reason being, there's a Walmart right by my house. I figured, why not go look at the clothes, see what that's like, right? So I went and I discovered that it was extremely chaotic. Right? It was really hectic. You had to go through a few aisles before you went ahead and got to the clothes. At that point, I grabbed a bar of chocolate. I grabbed some soap for my house, and then I went shopping. No cart. So at that point, it was extremely difficult to focus, and the reason being was because of the chaos that existed there, of the fact that there were so many options. You walk into Walmart and you don't have to just go shopping. I think another thing that I found extremely difficult was there was no reference point at the store. There was no development of style. There was no, there were no advertisements. And not that I need it because I have honed my own sense of style for years, but I know a lot of customers actually shop that way. I know a lot of customers sort of don't know what's going on or don't know how to put certain things together. So props like mannequins, advertisements, campaigns, those things actually really help. It's also extremely helpful when you have sort of a place where you know what age group you're allowed to be in, right? Or what style or what aesthetic, essentially, right, you're allowed to be in. And I found it extremely difficult because in Walmart, that's not what it was. Everything was broken down by brand. Every brand had different things. There were about 3 sports sections that I ran into, and they were all close to each other. But, one brand sold this thing and another brand sold that thing, and then there were shorts, and then there weren't shorts, and it really was chaotic. There was no niche, I think, for a customer to walk into a particular section and say, this is for my age group, this is for, my time. All I'm looking for is this garment and that garment, and I know that I can appropriately find it here. That didn't exist. So I walked out and I went to another store. The next store that I went to was Forever 21. So many people like Forever 21. So many people I know still wear Forever 21, even though they're not. And I think the reason is because what Walmart maybe didn't have, Forever 21 actually has. You can walk into a particular section in Forever 21 and you'll know that you'll find something within the realm of aesthetic that you're looking for. And I found that to be really important. I don't think I ever actually appreciated it, but I found that to be really important because it made the experience comfortable. I went in there as a shopper, and I really tried, giving myself this idea that I had no idea what I wanted to buy, and I had to go in there and I had to buy something. And it was extremely helpful to walk in sort of have these little niches all around the store that I knew, hey, maybe I could exist here, or maybe I won't exist here because I'm not a flamingo. Go figure. Um, it was better than Walmart in many ways. Um, there was no distraction. The focus was there, um, and it was good. The only thing that I found to be a lot bad about being in a place like Forever 21 is that there are so many clothes and so many styles that are put on the floor that in a way it almost seems really messy. Um, it's like a thrift store that sells a lot of the same one thing that you're looking for. I haven't decided how much of a positive or a negative that is. I think for me as a shopper, I would find that to be a little overwhelming. For me as a stylist, as a fashion designer, it might be a good thing, right? Um, Reason being is because I now have those options of picking and choosing between a vast amount of different styles and different textiles, and I can buy the same thing for a different project or whatever the case is, and the price is not bad, you guys. So in a way, it's kind of a good thing, but it's also kind of a bad thing just when you look at it in the perspective of a shopper. Um, and then finally, I went to a Louis Vuitton store that's in Fashion Valley in San Diego, California, and it was completely different. Um, Walk in, I'm greeted. I was told, so, oh, it was just so different. I'm like thinking back at like all those differences that like I felt, and I can honestly tell you, I felt as if I was in a museum. Um, Not my first time, but again, it's my first time as a shopper, or as a shopper with this assignment in mind, and it was completely different. Um, Things were limited on the floor. You had maybe 3 to 5 pieces of each thing that was being sold. Um, Accessories, bags, wallets, like all their leather goods. It was one of one color and a different style, and that was it. Um, and I think that I really note having walked out of that store with this idea of exclusivity. So, what did I come up with all in all? Is that experience is extremely important when it comes to your price point and what you're offering customers. There's a delivery and there's a way that you can extend to your customer that you are either high end or you're maybe a little moderate, and that's okay. But I think it's really important for us to know this, especially being people that are in school for fashion at the moment, right? Whether you're doing design, whether you're doing marketing, it's all extremely important because it's not just so much about what you have, it really is about the experience. And really, truly, walking into all 3 stores, it was a completely different experience. Walmart, I had carts, chasing me. Um, Forever 21, contemporary music. Like I said, a little chaotic, but sort of a lot more blissful than Walmart was. Um, and then when I stepped into Louis, it was really like I was being transported into a different world. Um, the music was nothing contemporary. Um, there was even, a mood put in there because of the dimness of the lights, and the focus really was on shining light on the garments versus shining lights on people. So that hue sort of added to a level of luxury and leisure, which I thought was fantastic. I did have a conversation with one of the reps that was on the floor and let them know that I was doing this project for school and asked to take some pictures. I was told no. So I had to take some pictures in the elevator instead and in the dressing room. But I didn't take any of myself. I was too scared. So I had a friend that went with me. I had him do it. And one of the things that he absolutely loved, which was completely different from the dressing room in Forever 21, which, yes, I went to dressing rooms at Forever 21 as well as Walmart. And one of the things that he absolutely loved, and I'll go ahead and actually put the picture in there, just upload it. But one of the things that he loved is that every dressing room had a bathrobe. And he loved the bathrobe. And we actually had a question as to whether they sold it or not. And they don't. It really is just something that they offer customers, right? And so I think with that in mind, it goes back to the idea of experience, right? Experience is extremely important when it comes to Pricepoint, because having had that experience at Louis, I would spend, I mean, I would anyways, but I would spend more happily whatever price they had on their garments, on their accessories, on their leather goods, because I walk in there and I have an experience. I walk out and I have, it's all a part of the experience. But I have to pay rent this month. So instead of shopping at Louis this month, I actually just picked up some things from Forever 21 just to show you guys. So one of the things that I want to talk about is actually their shopping bags, right? So Walmart and Forever 21, they both had plastic shopping bags. Louis did not have that. Louis had a much more structured sort of paper bag, super luxurious. It was superimposed with their name on it, and that was extremely cool. Just because the plastic look, you sort of think of grocery shopping, and I mean it's great, but just having that sort of like, it almost feels like you bought yourself a present. Just the way that they put everything in these paper bags, and sometimes they'll even fluff it up and just go ahead and add tissue for you. It really does feel like a present versus getting something that you needed, which again adds to the difference in experience. One of the things that I also wanted to note that I found extremely different was the fact that a lot of these lower priced stores, right, the moderate ones and the ones that are not ready to wear yet, right, because I was looking at ready to wear stuff at Louis. So a lot of these stores, I find that they tend to have collaborations with people. Now, a lot of these big brands, they do have collaborations with different artists, right? We all remember Marc Jacobs' tenure at Louis, where he did work with Yayoi Kusama, Takashi Murakami, Steven Sprouse, the list goes on. But it's a different sort of collaboration. I think the collaboration is really based on branding things. And so I found this piece at Forever 21 because, again, I have to pay rent this month. So it's a sweatshirt, and it's branded with Honda. And so I found that to be extremely important. And the reason being is because, collaborative work is sold a lot more different in a store like Louis and in a store like Forever 21. In a store like Forever 21, I walk out with this little thing on the tag, right? So this is the tag, and it says Forever 21 and Honda. At a place like Louis, you have collaborations that are being done, and it's almost aristocratic in the sense of, if you don't know who this is, why? Or how don't you know who this is? You know, like the time when Abreu just started taking paintings and putting them on everything. Which amazing collection, and it really was just at a point where it didn't need to be explained. It was a thing that existed and it sold. And I think, you know, when it comes to that sort of like collaborative effort or pulling influence, you know, I mean, even the race stripes or the checkerboard, I call them race stripes, but the checkerboard, you know, it's an influence, it's a reference, and I get it, you know, I get mobile checkerboard, you know, okay, I can see that, but I think a lot of these um, moderate stores tend to sort of pitch the name, and I find that a lot of these other ready-to-wear, these luxury stores, they don't really do that. Um, so it was definitely really interesting just to go to all three of these stores and figure out how everything was different, and I was truly, truly, truly amazed. Um, and I will definitely take that with me when it comes to designing. Um, Realizing that experience really is an important factor in um, your price point, um, because definitely the quality of things are different. I did buy this one shirt, and you know, I looked at the stitching. You know, it's very spring. It makes sense. You know, but the cuts, the 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 cut is not very good. I'm probably gonna stitch it up myself and make it a little more form fitting. It's extremely squared up. It's, you know, it's not made for me, or you know, for a medium sort of athletic, sort of not with skinny arms. You know, it's not made for me. It's made to fit people like me, and the stitching, as I said, wasn't the best. I think if it was in a fabric that wasn't cotton, maybe something a lot more softer, shimmier, I think it would look even better. You know, as a garment, I think it would look even better. It would look even more expensive. Even something like a silk. And I live in California. It gets hot here. But even if it was a silk, um, I think I would enjoy it a whole lot more. And I think the colors would just look better. I just think it would be a better garment. Um, but I did buy it just to sort of note that difference. And quality is also a part of the experience. Walking into a store like Forever 21 and finding something that I really liked, but wanting for it to be in a different fabric, wanting for it to be stitched better, stitched different. That's all a part of the experience. So, in closing, that's what I got from this week's assignment, is that experience is as much a major factor in walking into one of these retail stores, as well as anything else that goes along with it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Akemi, I'm sorry if it's extremely long. I felt like I couldn't say this in a sketchbook. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed.